like in this moment.
Welcome to the J.J. Carrell Show. He's spot on. And the title of my show is, excuse me, are the people that control us stupid? And the answer is yes. I testified in front of Congress. I remember sitting there at the table with the morons above me, and I remember looking at them, and I was so unimpressed. And then they began to talk, and I remember thinking, they are the epitome of everything that I have stated throughout my life. And I'm living it in real time, which was weird, that these are the dumbest people in our society. With not being mean, I'm just telling you the dumbest people in our society. And Tucker Carlson is 100% correct. But you know who's dumber than those people? Is the American public. Because we allow this to happen. What's breaking right now, and it's just blowing up everywhere, is Ilhan Omar. I have been saying Ilhan Omar, written articles about this for years ago, that she's an illegal alien, that she committed immigration fraud. She married her brother. She's committed a felony. She has to be at the minimum, if you don't want to denaturalize her, which is not an arduous, impossible task. It's done before and it can be done again. But you want, if you really want the truth, that she, at the bare minimum, she should be removed from this Congress. Absolutely removed, handcuffed, put in jail for marriage fraud. It's a felony. There's no statute of limitation. Now we're finding out from the special agent in charge of, I can't remember her name. I apologize, of the FBI. Who cares? We're going to know about her pretty soon because she's gutless. The FBI special agent in charge in Minneapolis knew about this throughout the whole Biden administration. She pushed it up to the U.S. attorney. The U.S. attorney came back and said, well, you know, it's statute of limitations. We can't really do anything. Well, the FBI said, yeah, you know what? I agree with her or him. There's statute of limitations gone, so we didn't do anything. Well, here's the problem. There are no statutes of limitation for immigration fraud, as if that would be a problem anyway. You think if there's a statute of limitation issue with Donald Trump or anyone in his family, they would just not report it? Biden's FBI knew that she committed immigration fraud for 4 years and did nothing. That's not surprising. It's a whole corrupt government. But we keep voting this person in. We being the American people. We being the Minneapolis people. Me being the Somali Americans that we allowed into our country. We've created this monster that we're living in. Sure, there's a massive election fraud, massive corruption. I understand that. But when are the American people going to rise up and say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just not going to do this anymore. She has to go to jail now. Donald Trump's White House posted Ilhan Omar's actual marriage certificate where she married her brother. Donald Trump doesn't know this, but he just painted himself into a corner. He's done nothing as far as judicial, law and order, and justice since he's been in office. Nothing. Nobody's gone to jail. If he doesn't do something on this one, I mean, if he doesn't act swiftly, remove her from Congress, put her in handcuffs, and bring her to the federal office in D.C. and begin the procedure, make her bond out, bail out, whatever. Get her mugshot with her dirty towel off her head as we can see her bald head. And then I want to know in detail how she's worth $30 million after being in the government, making $174,000 a year for 6 years. That does not equate to a 40,000+ increase in wealth in 6 years. I think it's 46,000% increase. Not only do we have allowed the dumbest people to rule over us, we've allowed the most vile, the most corrupt, and this is very important, and the most anti-American people And we wonder why we're in this mess in America today. Why do you think we're in this mess? I had a young man today say, I don't know what happened, but I feel as if everything's changed when I first started to think about my life in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002. I said, well, what do you think it is or was that changed? And he goes, I just really can't, I don't know. And I said, well, let me tell you what I believe changed. I'm a little older than you, but I lived that time, and I was a young man at that time. I said, when you have a nation that's murdered over 60 million of their babies, and we're in the second and third generation of those murders, so we would have at least another 120 million people. Yeah, out of that murder scene, there's about 150 to probably 180,000 people that lives in the future was snuffed out, and I'm being generous there. And those would have been Americans with American values. And then we have a secular society where we have a birth rate of 1.6, which is a dying population. And then our leaders open the borders and drag in 30 million illegal aliens on top of the 20 million. And then on top of the 50 million, we put another 55 million of legal immigrants. So we have 105 plus million foreign nationals and their birthright citizen children. So the country that you have pictured in your mind in the late 90s and early 2000s is dead. That nation, that situation, that has been killed. We now live in a new world, a new United States of America, where the white population is now slipping below 55%. Blacks have stayed around 10 to 12% and have not moved because they have killed the majority of the abortions are their children, our children, but the Black community's children. And they slaughter each other at an incredible rate every year in murders, Black on Black. So they have not grown at all. We've decreased, and every other nationality in the world is now quantifiable in our census. So the country that you thought you lived in, and you did live in 20, 30 years ago, is dead. It does not exist anymore because we have allowed in the dumbest people in our society. Not only the dumbest, but we brought in the dumbest constituents in those districts to vote for their dumbest person or their smartest dumb person. You have Ilhan Omar. How did she get in? Well, the Somalis voted her in. The Somalis have an IQ of less than the retardation demarcation of 70 IQ. We imported 700 to 1 million retarded people from Somalia. Now, can anybody tell me how that's going to benefit me, my family, my community, and my state and my nation? It's not. It's not. I'm going to show you on number 2. I'm going to set this up, Nick. This is a Kentucky state rep. Her name is Sarah Stalker. And I'm going to say this, and I know there's data to support what I'm saying. The greatest threat, the group that is the most destructive group demographically in America is not the 2% of Black males that are killing other Black males and committing heinous crimes in America. That's horrific. I understand that. It's not the illegal aliens that are killing, murdering, raping, and stealing our money. That's not the biggest threat either. The biggest threat, and you're going to wince, and then you're going to shake your head like, I think JG's lost it. But the greatest threat to our republic is that 35-ish to 65, 70 white educated women, AKA known as Karens. They are ideologically insane. They vote as a gigantic block. They are very dominant. So they have a lot of beta males that are going to vote the way they do. And they set the agendas, these women. And it's because we are out of God's natural order, number one. And that's a discussion we've had and will continue to have. But the white Karen, the white, highly educated Karen, that woman, and we all know because we see they're all around us. They're obnoxious, they're self-righteous, they're never wrong, and damn it, they're going to tell you exactly what the truth is, and you better believe it, or they're going to screech at you. They're going to make your life miserable. And I'm going to present to you one of the top Karens. And before you play it, Nick, look at that face. Is that a face that you want to go bed with? Wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and have a discussion with that face? She is a self-hating white person. Listen to what she says and tell me how this benefits anybody in America.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good about being white every day for a lot of reasons, because it's a point of privilege that I get to move through the world in a way that so many of my other colleagues and friends and family members of the community don't get the privilege to do. And I'm just a female, but just a woman, just a white woman. If I was a white man, I would be functioning from a point of an even greater privilege. I think we're missing an opportunity when kids have a moment to reflect about how the color of their skin does and does not allow them to move through the world. Running to them and trying to stifle that and trying to say you shouldn't feel bad, so we don't want to ever expose you to something that is going to make you have to pause and have maybe some internal feelings. It's a missed opportunity for some really good dialogue.
See, this is where I have a problem. I know there's men there. I know there's men around. Why didn't any man say, hey, for a point of order, I would like the stupid Karen to shut her mouth. She's incompetent. She's a self-hater. She's incoherent in her speech. I don't even know what she's saying. She's all the kids and her being white. And well, sweetheart, why don't we start a point of order to the chairman? Please ask her to remove herself, and let's put a person of color or disability, sexual deviancy in her position. Isn't it interesting that all of the white Karens and the white beta males never want to give up their position of authority and power? Isn't that amazing? They want us all of us to do it, but not them. And you know, ultimately, who's to blame? And I say this all the time. I lay at the feet of the white and black Christian men and Hispanic Christian men. All of it. All of it. Every man in America that's a Christian, I lay it at your feet. Where's the man telling her to shut her face? Shame her? He's saying white privilege? There's less than 7% of the population of the world is white. And somehow we have privilege? What are you kidding me, sweetheart? Number one, can you brush your hair? Number two, you think you can put a little makeup on? You present yourself a little better? You look like you just rolled out of bed? We've allowed this. This is our society now. We have people that hate us. They hate our own kind. She doesn't represent me in any way. She wants children to understand that it's bad to be white. When did this become a fad? When's this become the norm that we get to bash and be racist against white people? Huh? I'm not going to leave the stupidity at just white Karens either. I'm going to play someone that is grotesquely stupid. Benny Thompson. He is disgustingly stupid. And listen to what he says to Kristi Noem about the two National Guardsmen that were shot. One was murdered by an illegal alien terrorist from Afghanistan. And I want you to listen to the words that Benny Thompson calls this terrorist attack. Go ahead and play this, please.
You did. Madam Secretary, you and the gentleman from NCTC reference the unfortunate accident that occurred with the National Guardsman being killed.
You think that was an unfortunate accident?
I mean,
It was a terrorist
no,
attack.
wait. Look, I'll get it straight. Then you can
He shot our
respond.
National Guardsman in the head.
Look, Mr. Chairman, will you direct the witness to allow me to ask my question?
Oh, dear God. He's going
It
to
was an
ask
unfortunate
somebody.
situation, what you did.
Oh, my God. I mean, hey, Benny, listen, I know it's hard. It's ASK. Ask, not AX. Ask. I'm going to ask you something. Look at what we've done. Look at what we've done to each other. Look at who we've put in positions where we all have to play this kabuki theater. We all have to sit here and pretend that the people that are sitting in the dais above us are really intelligent. Oh, they're so intelligent. Benny Thompson, he's going to ask you a question because it's an unfortunate incident that a terrorist from a terrorist nation walked up to a 20-year-old National Guards woman that's wearing her fatigues, her army fatigues, shoots her in the head and kills her, and shoots another man by the name of Andrew Wolf that's 27. And as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, he's still fighting for his life. And that's an unfortunate incident. As dumb as he is, he knew exactly what he was saying. When are we going to stop playing this game that we're being represented by people that have our best interest? I believe there is a small percentage of our politicians that are extremely intelligent, and they and the people behind the curtain, and there is a curtain and there's a dark room and there's people in there that are controlling our government. If you think our government leaders are our government, you're a fool. And they're pulling the strings of these functionally retarded congressmen and senators and sometimes presidents. That's obvious. Do you think Benny Thompson, Jasmine Ghetto Crockett, AOC, that stupid Indian guy, I don't even know, he has like tattooed eyebrows on or something. He's a congressman, keeps coming up with these impeachment articles. Do you think those people organically got to that position? Are you that naive that you think that they just got to those positions of authority because they woke up one day and they went, I'm going to be a congressperson? Or do you think somebody plucked them from obscurity, been watching them, seeing what their weaknesses are, and then place them in positions of authority and power, knowing that they are going to stick their hands in their back and control them like a marionette puppet, a hand puppet, or a string from above puppet? It's unbelievable. Do you think Ilhan Omar just got selected? Like somebody selected her? Or did she wake up one day and wrap a dirty towel on her head and said, I'm going to be a congresswoman? Or do you think somebody said, she is absolutely compromised and she'll do whatever we want? She married her brother. She's been married 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We don't know. She's been caught in bed with lovers. Of course, they selected her. Now she's a liability. So you'll see her get axed. Right now, the President of the United States just posted on the White House webpage and on X, posted the legitimate, factual marriage certificate of Ilhan Omar and her brother. I don't know if she consummated the marriage. I don't know. But she committed at least one crime, and that's immigration fraud. And she has to be arrested, and then denaturalized and deported. We live in some of the most bizarre, vile, evil times maybe ever. I believe that. I believe in the most vile time in American history. We do not have a legitimate government. We are ruled by a tyrannical government and by evil, pedophile people and criminal people. Benny Thompson's just stupid. I'm sure he's corrupt. I'm sure he's taken money. I'm sure he has been bribed. I'm sure 100% he's compromised. And on top of that, I am 100% sure he is stupid. He's dumb as a piece of wood. He's talking about Joe Kent. I'm going to play a video of Joe Kent next. And after I do this one, I'm going to show another video of Tucker Carlson on his interview that he had with I just forgot the guy's name and I apologize. Funny comedians, always on Joe Rogan. But I'm going to play this, and this is what Tucker Carlson's going to tell you. That can all the U.S. politicians be compromised? And the answer is yes. Can you please play this video, Nick, and stop at 1:50 for me, please? But he's right. Well, that guy's corrupt. He's worth almost $5 million. He was a Navy SEAL. Outside of like Jocko Willink and Sean Ryan, I don't see any millionaire guys coming out of the military. I'm sorry. I see a lot of broken marriages. I see a lot of PTSD. I see a lot of trauma. I see that gentleman has obviously a war Purple Heart for losing his eye, just like a John McCain. All the respect in the world, but you do not get a continuous mulligan through life for being an absolute jackass in politics. Sorry, I'll respect you for the stuff you've done, but you're just like John McCain. You're an asshole. John McCain was an asshole. Crenshaw is an asshole. Probably, from what I understand, a mean ass drunk too. And I'm sure being around that little tyrant, John McCain, that must not have been pleasant. Him and his don't ask, don't tell buddy, Lindsey Graham. We live in a system of absolute corruption. We all know it. Some know it a lot. Some have a lot of great facts. Some people are somewhat oblivious to the world, but they feel it, they sense it, they know it. It's that bad now in America. It just is. It's just that bad. And we all know it. That idiot Benny Thompson mentioned the NCTC director. I think it's National Counterterrorism something. Nick, I don't know if you can even look that up. I know I butchered it yesterday. I'm going to butcher it again today. But he's over counterterrorism. It's Joe Kent. And Joe Kent testified in that same hearing. And what did he testify about? Well, I'm going to show you here in a second, but I want you to understand, last week, 10 days ago, Kristi Noem went on Fox News and made this statement that there has been identified 6,000 known terrorists on the terrorist watch list, 6,000 that were given Social Security numbers at the border and released into our society under Joe Biden. Joe Kent's going to come in and he's going to say, well, actually, the number's now 18,000 and growing, because we have no idea how many people absconded. Watch this. Can you play number 5 for me, Nick?
We've made significant progress under President Trump's leadership. We have the jihadis of ISIS and Al-Qaeda on the run in Iraq and Syria, thanks to the decisive action and the strikes that we've taken there recently since President Trump took office in January. However, we have a persistent threat from the individuals that were allowed into this country by the previous administration. The number one threat that we have right now, in my view, is the fact that we don't know who came into our country in the last 4 years of Biden's open borders. What we have identified is alarming, and I want to share that with you today. We just recently put out a warning of the heightened risk of terrorist attacks posed to the homeland by terrorists pretty much of all stripes, but in particular from ISIS and from Al-Qaeda. NCTC has been crunching the numbers and going through the sheer volume of known and suspected terrorists that are in the country that came in under the Biden administration. So far, NCTC has identified around 18,000 known and suspected terrorists that the Biden administration let come into our country. These are individuals who under normal circumstances would never be allowed to enter our country because of their ties to jihadi groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Yet the Biden administration not only let them into the country, and in many cases facilitated their entry into the country, just like the entry of the Afghan terrorists who committed the terrorist attack here just before Thanksgiving, killing one of our National Guard members and wounding another. That Afghan was brought into the country as a group of over 100,000 Afghans who were brought here during the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. These individuals, despite what has been reported, were not vetted properly to come into the United States. The individual terrorist who committed the attack in DC, he was vetted to serve as a soldier in Afghanistan. The Biden administration essentially used his tactical level vetting as a ruse to bring him here and to bring him into our communities. And we've seen the tragic results of that. Now, that Afghan, that attacker, that terrorist is just one of 88,000. We've identified 2,000 of that group of 88,000 who have ties to terrorist organizations. We're working right now hand in hand with DHS and with the FBI to run down this 2,000, the Afghans who came here under Allies Welcome who have ties to terrorist organizations, and additionally the other 16,000 individuals with ties to terrorist organizations that Biden let into our country. That is probably the top terrorist threat that we face right now, and that doesn't include the individuals who came here illegally through the open border. That number, alarmingly, remains unknown at this time. We're trying to figure out who those individuals are as well.
Do you think that is stupidity? Or do you think that is purposeful, intentional? I think it's both. I think it's done at the highest level of strategic, it's intentional, and it was purposeful. At the low level, the Jasmine Crockett's, the Benny Thompsons, all them, they're just stupid as a piece of wood. So they're gonna go along. They're gonna vote for everything. They're gonna keep everything going without any challenges. And it is, thank you, Nick. It is the National Counterintelligence Center, the NCTC. Did you hear what he just said? I need to reiterate that. 18,000 known or suspected terrorists were allowed into America, welcomed, brought into America by our president and his administration. And we have no idea who the other ones are that are illegal aliens that crossed the border undetected and they absconded. We also don't know anything about the people that we arrested and then released into our society. Our government did this to us. So my question is valid. Are the people in our government, the people that control us, are they stupid? And the answer is more nuanced than just they're the dumbest people in our society, even though that is an absolute factually true statement. But they are also maybe useful fools for the powerful and the elites that do run our country. The faces of them, being our politicians, behind the scenes, in the intel agencies, in the global elitists, the global people that want to globally reset us, the George Soros that are allowed to maneuver in our government. They run our government. Our government is corrupt. It is evil. There's an expose. If you can just pull it up, please, number 6 for me. And this really says it. And it's really true. The Democrats' job is to destroy the country. The Republican job is to pretend they will stop it. I'm going to say this again. Read it one more time. I think this is It's simple, and yet it is powerful. The Democrats' job is to destroy the country. The Republicans' job is to pretend they will stop them. What just happened since Donald Trump has taken office through the House and Senate? Do you know that they've passed 5 bills? 5 bills. At this time in Biden, Obama, Bush, etc., their Congresses have passed over 100, 200 bills. 5. So that tells me that Speaker Johnson and John Thune are colluding with the Democrats. They're going to run out President Trump's term in office. There's no other way to say that. And then they're going to turn it over to the Democrats, and then the Democrats are going to turn it back over to the rhinos, and the wars are going to continue. Our money's going to dry up. More millions of people, tens of millions of people are going to come into America. They're going to put people like me and conservatives in jail. That's not hyperbole. That's just common sense. And yet, President Trump still doesn't do enough. And by enough, I mean arresting the traitors that are in our government. The best way you can support me is to support the companies that promote on my show, that help pay the bills, and that is Carnivalt. Carnivalt.com, and use the promo code JJ10. Carnivalt.com, promo code JJ10. I have the package right here. I'm going to read it to you. Okay, this package is actually cool as all get out. This is I'm holding how much of this? 6 ounces net weight, uncooked raw top sirloin beef, premium grass-fed beef, no hormones, no antibiotics, no artificial flavors or preservatives, just pure meat. Chris Heaven, God bless him, he eats this. You're allowed to eat it. That's what you buy it for, but it's for emergency, basically. It's for, hey, I need to stock up, natural emergency, man-made disaster, war, whatever. I have it. And it's amazing. I tried it. I had my wife make it. I said, please watch this video. They have recipes, everything. Let's try it out. And we were like, holy smokes, it's really good. Now I know why Chris Heaven eats it, but that's not what you're supposed to be doing, Chris Heaven, from Survival Dispatch News. Everything in there is made in America, packaged in America. The packaging is American made. Everything's American made. I love being prepared, being ready for whatever's going to come my way, but I love it when I can do it for and buy it from Americans. Made in Americans with Americans' hands. Nick, I don't know if you have that commercial up and ready. If you could play this commercial, because I love it, and it kind of gives you a great feel for what I'm talking about as far as the quality. Because there's beef, there's pork, and there's chicken. It's actually unbelievable. Unbelievable what they've been able to do. And it is not chemicals and crap that's going to kill you. It is real meat. Go ahead and play this for us, Nick, please.
Make great meals anytime with Carnivalt.
Go to carnivalt.com, carnivalt.com. Use my promo code JJ10 to get 10% off. Great product. Love it. Use it. Everything that I promote on my show, I just use. It's that time of the week. I want to bring in my friend because I am dismayed, and my tank that holds my hope is almost at empty. So I always bring this guest in, Kim Yater from TakeYourPowerBackShow.com, to give me some hope. Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, JJ. We all need some hope today, don't we?
We need some hope, but I'm going to
Every
have
day.
I'm going to try. Here's what I'm going to do. You come with so much great positive energy. I'm going to taper it back because I'm
Okay.
going to have to
All right.
show you a video of, and my show, and I know you just came. I saw you in the back, and so I don't know how long you've been watching, but my show is, are the people that control us stupid? And the answer, I believe, is yes, but I want to get maybe your layered or nuanced response to that, if it is, or maybe it's very direct. But I want to show you a video of Representative LaMonica McGuire from New Jersey. But before you play that, Nick, if you can just get it ready. Kim, I just played a video of Benny Thompson asking somebody, I need to ask you something.
Oh,
And
he
then
was acting. I got it.
he was
I know what
acting.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
He's acting.
he's
Yeah.
acting. And then Miss LaMonica, who I believe was on my panel when I testified in front of Congress, because I heard the same acts that she said. They speak Ebonics. She's in a position of authority of power. She's sitting right next to an illegal alien from Guatemala named Dalia Ramirez. But I want to show you this, and I just want to get your take or your belief on the people that rule us. Should they speak proper English? Should they have some higher intellect than, say, a piece of wood? I'll let you make your comment after this. Can you play this for us, Nick?
Absolutely.
So I'll ask you this.
Oh,
Is Trump embarrassed by your tenure, or is this exactly the kind of god-awful leadership he wants at DHS? Yes or no?
Ma'am, we've already conducted more oversight visits.
No.
than the
It's a
entire
yes or
Biden
no. Yes or
administration.
no. Okay,
More
Secretary Noem, this is
congressmen
my time to
senators
talk,
have
not your time to
visited
talk.
our detention
I reclaim
centers
my
than
time.
Joe Biden
I
did
reclaim
in
my
4
time.
years.
I
4
reclaim
years.
my
Most
time.
transparent
Chair, I
administration
reclaim my
we've ever
time.
had.
Secretary Noem, DHS is breaking the law, hiding information from Congress and shutting out oversight. So let me ask you, how can the American people
God.
trust your department with you at the helm with this kind of behavior?
The American people absolutely trust this department to keep them safe. And we are showing that every day by the support we get across the country, the amount of people that we're recruiting to all of our
Thank you,
different
Secretary
agencies.
Noem. Do you agree
have
that using
200,000
DHS
people that have
resources
signed
to
up to be
target
ICE
members of
officers?
Congress is an abuse of power?
Oh my
Excuse
gosh.
me, could you say that
You
again?
would have heard me if you stopped talking
you
and
would
listened to
stop
my
talking
questions.
crazy,
Do you
pick
agree
yourself up.
that using DHS resources to target members of Congress is an abuse of power?
We are not doing that. We are out there enforcing the law, doing our work, and we are allowing oversight.
Of course, we're not
visits
going to get any
more than the
answers. With
entire
that,
Joe
Mr.
Biden
Chairman, I
administration
yield
did.
back.
oh. What's your initial reaction to that, Kim?
I mean, it's funny. It's sickly funny. I mean, I'm going to tell you the first thing that comes to mind for me, JJ, is lawlessness.
Mhm.
This is lawlessness rearing its head. I mean, come on. You saw the leading questions. You saw this lack of impatience, this talking over, this disrespect. It's ugly. And you know what? If we follow the trail, it goes back to the Clintons, Obama, Kamala. Like, listen to that speech, that way of communicating. It is a way of moving a people. It's a way of shutting the truth down. That's what it is, silencing the people. And it's a lie from the pit of hell. It's the example of lawlessness.
Well, do you think that stupidity is that an over? Where would you rank if I said, okay, corruption, stupidity, absolute arrogance, ignorance? Where does stupidity fall in the top 3 of the majority of the congressmen and senators? Would you put stupidity at the top, or would you put corruption? What would you put? How would you rank it?
I'm going to tell you, stupidity number 1
Mhm.
when it comes to the lawlessness, and I mean, they're just, we know it's already corruption, but stupid, like you know them by their words. You
Mhm.
know them by their speech, by their impatience, by their, this constant shutting down the truth. And they use this ebonics way of communicating to shut down the
Mhm.
truth, to make it look like they relate to the American people. It's stupid. It's pure stupidity.
Do you think my belief is this? As I sat in front of Congress, and I dealt with congressmen and senators before in my previous job, and in the border patrol, and now when I went to Congress, is I instinctively knew that yes, they're dumb, but they're puppets. There is a intellectual class, or a more just an intellectual class of criminals that are running the stupid people. The stupid people are like smoke screens. They throw out Jasmine Crockett, throw that dumb B word out into the world, and let her do a smoke grenade, and then let's let Miss LaMonica use ebonics, and Benny Thompson, who's stuttering and can't speak clearly. Do you think that's what they do? They use these as pawns?
I absolutely do. Absolutely. There's no grounding. You see, truth grounds. Truth, there's wisdom, there's discernment with truth. When there is a lie, do you ever see that game? It's like the computer game where the ball goes ding, 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 all over the place. There's
Yeah.
no grounding. That's exactly what it's like. There is no truth in them. And clearly, they will move from thing to thing to thing to thing to steer away from that truth. So, do I think it's happening in our government? All across the walls of Congress? Absolutely. I mean, look, we can't even get things moving in the
Mhm.
direction where we're holding these people accountable. They're slippery, and they're puppets. So I guess the frustration is, well, first, JJ, I could see how you would feel, and many people right now would feel just hopeless because it doesn't stop. It keeps going. And there's so much more of them getting the airtime and getting their voice heard.
Well, let's move to let's this is all together, but this is the big story that's going to pump all weekend. It pumped all weekend into where we're filming now. Is Ilhan Omar has now Donald Trump just put out through the White House,
Mhm.
put out her marriage certificate to her brother. She
Mm.
committed immigration fraud. It's a felony. The
Mhm.
minimum that needs to happen is she needs to be arrested and removed and put in jail. The maximum is denaturalized and deported. Knowing this, and that
Yeah,
that Donald Trump actually pushed this out, do you, with all the background of no arrest, no anything for
right.
12 months, do you think anything's going to get done, Kim?
Oh, God, you know what? That just hits so hard when you just said that. Um, if we don't shift as a people, if we don't come together as a we the people and ensure that President Trump and the powers that be take the action steps of holding these people accountable, then we're just, it's like a ship without a rudder. I mean, we're looking at Tina Peters right now. Tina
Mhm.
Peters is all over the news, right? And so President Trump pardons her, but because this is in state, Polis is locking down, saying, no way, never going to happen. And Griswold, who is absolutely a criminal, has been
Mhm.
getting away with this. So the reality is, I think there needs to be an uproar by the people. We're sitting here watching the news, waiting for the next best thing. What's the next thing? Then what's the next thing? But we're not getting up off of our laurels and fighting. People should be calling down right now to Polis's office. They should be phone calls. They should be showing up in Colorado. And the same thing with this woman who has been in a position that she has no right being in a position on. She needs to go to jail, and we need to stand up and I don't know the exact route to take, JJ, but we better figure it out and get in touch with attorneys, get in touch with the movers and shakers, hold them to the fire.
That leads me to my final question. When you look at the totality of everything that we are facing, Tina Peters, Ilhan Omar, the Clinton Foundation, the Russian hoax, the stolen 2020 election, COVID, all of the endless wars, the newly minted $800 million to Ukraine, and then a couple $100 million to Israel again. The totality, Kim. I have very strong belief in what needs to happen, and that I don't believe we can vote away, we can legislate, and we can get anything done judicially. It does not leave any other recourse for our grievances. What do you say? Do you say that there is still hope, or do you say that, as I believe, that the government is so corrupt, the institutions are so damaged that there is no fixing them? I'd love to get your take.
All right. I believe that we have a window of time. What happens in the next 2 years? Okay. So we're day by day right now because it is so corrupt. But I do believe that there's a window in place. If we can move the handlers away from President Trump, if we can, the powers that be can get the real information of President Trump so that he can make some choices or get the word out there to the people that can move the needle, Tina Peters being, pardoned, like what's going to happen? I mean, we got to get inside of Colorado. We got to get into the ear of Polis. We got to move that needle, right? So I do believe, JJ, we have a window of opportunity with Trump in place, but the powers that be is us. We, the people, have got to stand into the gap right now. If we don't stand in the gap and take action now, we're going to lose the country. We have a window of opportunity, or it all goes down. It all goes down and rebuild from scratch. And there are mass casualties in that case.
Mass casualties, and one of the big casualties is the United States of America. We may retain the name, but we will no longer be the United States of America. We'll be something totally different.
Yeah.
And that is frightening. And it is frightening. Yes. And I see us hurtling down a dark road, and we are coming up on probably the last off ramp. And we're going to crash no matter what. It just depends on how fast we're going to crash into how big of a brick wall we're going to crash. Kim, before you came on, I showed a product that is promoted on my show called Carnival. Yes. Made in America. It's clean. And it's about, I believe it's about taking our power back. Thus your show, takeyourpowerbackshow.com. And one of the ways that you and I are beginning to take back our power is our purchasing power. Where do we go shop? What do we buy? Do we buy products made in China that are poisonous, or do we buy products made in America by Americans that are, quote, green and healthy? And you and I have partnered with patriotsmade.com. Can you give my audience an elevator pitch on why they should take their power back? And one of the ways to do it, to go to patriotsmade.com.
Absolutely. For anybody who has heard JJ and I share about Patriots Made, it is absolutely about your buying power. So I don't want to support No Kings. I don't want to support the Wally family and Jeff Bezos anymore. I do not want to support the corrupt. So I say, let's bankrupt the corrupt. Let's take our power back by switching to American made. So imagine USA Today named this manufacturer that we tapped into as America's best brand month after month after month. Why? Because there's no junk in the trunk. Better, safer products. So you want to get real results with how you're thinking, how you're feeling, with your family's overall well-being, and you want to put more money back in your pocket, you got to make the switch like we did. That's why we chose patriotsmade.com/JJ. I made the switch 20 years ago, and I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be able to have the mental awareness, the fortitude, the stamina, the energy that I have if it wasn't for the tools in the toolbox. I think the same for you, JJ. patriotsmade.com/JJ. The bomb diggity, our team of experts will personally reach out to you to make sure that you have access to the tools.
Kim Yater, I have a little bit of hope in my tank. Thank you very much, ma'am. I was going on empty.
Jesus is the hope, JJ, the only real hope.
He is. You're absolutely correct in that. My prayer is that we get our country back on track, or he will get it back on track for us, one way or the other. Kim Yater, takeyourpowerbackshow.com. Kim, always great to talk to you. Have a great day.
Thank you, JJ. You're
all
amazing.
Right. Thank you. Kim Yater, takeyourpowerbackshow.com. She's the best. She's always positive no matter what. But it's not, you meet somebody and it's kind of like a fake positive, like they're trying to pump themselves up. That's not Kim. Kim is legitimate, genuine. She believes it. Kim Yater, takeyourpowerbackshow.com. Dang, Nick, show's almost done. 53 minutes. I'm looking at my clock up on the top of the screen. It keeps me in line, but we're flying by. Before we go, I want to show these videos of someone, and I've said this before to my audience, someone that I really respect, and that's Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller has been an advocate, a fighter against illegal immigration for decades. And when you listen to him talk, he is so factual based, and he cuts through all the emotion, all the crap, and he just tells you. And if you remove illegal immigration from our country basically rights itself. Listen to what he says on this. Can you play number 7 for me, Nick?
Conditions that they left over and over and over again. And we mask the impact of immigration every public policy issue we discuss. We talk about test scores. Well, if you subtract immigration out of test scores, all of a sudden our test scores skyrocket. If you subtract immigration out of healthcare, all of a sudden we don't have nearly the size of the healthcare challenges our country faces. If you subtract immigration out of public safety, all of a sudden we don't have violent crime in so many of our cities. Issue after issue, we talk about these things that they just happen to us. The schools just suddenly fail. Violent crime just suddenly explodes. The deficit just suddenly skyrockets. These are a result of social policy choices that we made through immigration. And Steve,
he's absolutely right. Our schools just didn't fail. They got overwhelmed. Look at Charlotte. Charlotte had almost 30,000 of their students didn't show up for days. 30,000. Do you know what reduction of classroom size that is? Do you know what that reduction of English of second English as a first language or second language education instructors? We're not paying for 200 English as a first language or second language, and then I could funnel that money into maybe tutors or maybe classrooms that for students that are having difficulties, we put 3 instructors in there, 3 teachers. Instead of teaching illegal alien children that are in some Indian dialect that we don't even know exists, trying to convert it to English. Every way, traffic. They used to, once a year in LA, in San Diego, they had a day without a Mexican. I loved freaking Day Without a Mexican. I would be so happy to be able to drive to work for the Day Without a Mexican because there was no one on the freaking roads in Southern California. What would take me an hour and 20 minutes to get to work would take me 35 minutes because it was a straight shot. There was no one on the road. Again, we have an infrastructure built in our country for 340 million people, but we have an infrastructure that is facilitating 460 million people in our country. Here's a way. This is another example. This is the HUD Secretary, Scott Turner. And if you can get that queued up for me, number 9, I'm going to skip 8. Nick, I'm going to queue this up. He reports between 2021 and 2024, that's Joe Biden's administration, the foreign-born population accounted for more than 60% of rental demands. Growth of over 6 million foreigners at that time. You know why we have a housing crisis? You know why we have a shelter crisis? You know why the cost of rents are skyrocketing and mortgages are? Purchase of housing is because of supply and demand. People wake up. Listen to Mr. Turner, who I am a big fan of.
But when you have over 12 million people coming over our borders unchecked, unvetted, this is straining our housing market from a supply standpoint, from an affordability standpoint. HUD just put out a report and found that between 2021 and 2024, the foreign-born population in our country in just 3 short years is 6 million people, which is the most in that period of time in American history. And so we cannot forego the thought that because of illegal immigration, because of people coming to our country, prices have risen, supply has been squeezed, but we're working very hard at HUD, along with the the president and other leaders in the administration to bring down the cost and raise the supply when they're doing it through interagencies. But we need the Fed to cut rates. We need to continue to deport illegals that are taking houses from the American people. So we're very intentional and focused about it at HUD and across the administration.
Yeah. And that
He's right on. He's also said that he is now going systematically from case to case to case, Section 8 housing, no illegals. You're out. You're gone. Some picks that Donald Trump makes are exceptional, and some are just atrocious. So I watch Stephen Miller, and I watch Mr. Turner, and I watch Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, Pete Hegseth, and I'm like applauding. Yep, hell yeah. Then you got Miss Wiles running the White House. You have the second in charge of the DOJ is a former Democrat. Pam Bondi, former Democrat. What the hell's going on? You elevate Lindsey Graham to a place of honor. You have a dinner in the White House, and on one side is the guy that helped you steal the election from you, Zuckerberg, and the other guy set in motion some insane pandemic, Bill Gates. And you brought them to positions of authority and power at your dinner table. Where's my invitation to sit at your dinner table? Where's Americans that stood with you, not against you? Why are you bringing those people and elevating them? Why are you taking never Trumpers and putting them in the positions of authority and power? I don't understand. We didn't vote for any of this. We didn't vote for $800 million going to Ukraine. You said the war would be over within 24 hours. You just now funded the war for 2 more years. We told you no more money to Israel, and you gave them another $100 million on top of the $30 billion that you just gave in your first year. We've had enough, Mr. President. We want America first. We want America only, and we want it all right now.